up, everybody? It's Coach Ryan here today, here to take you through your workout. What we're going to do today, we're going to go through about 15 workouts, all designed to just help you perform a little bit better physically. These things will contribute to your practices, your training sessions, and also your play. So all these things are really important. These are things that will, again, like I said, make you a better athlete, make you a better soccer player. What we're going to go through is 30 seconds of an exercise and then 30 seconds of explaining the next exercise. I'm going to give you our first 30-second exercise now, which is going to be a squat. I'll show you from a couple different angles. I'll coach you through. You'll see me do a few reps and I'll coach you through a couple myself. Alright, so the first thing is the squat. I'm going to give you a 30-second descriptor now. I'll tell you when to go for your 30 seconds of work. Okay? So our squat is going to be feet shoulder width apart. I want you to focus on bending your hips and your knees and lowering your torso down, straight down vertically. Okay? We're going to do that for 30 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, and begin. We want to lower ourselves down in 3 seconds in all these squats. We want to make sure that we have good even foot pressure here, not too much into our toes, not too much into our heels. We also want to make sure we are lowering ourselves into our squat in about 3, 2, 1, and returning to vertical as quickly as possible. We also want to make sure no compensation patterns appear when we get up fast. So we want to make sure that we don't lose things like posture to get vertical. And we are just straightening out our legs, bringing our hips underneath of our rib cage. All right, we'll take a 30-second rest now. Our next exercise will be an arm and a leg swing. So what we're looking for here is a connection between our arm and our leg. We want to see those things pass our hip at the same time, same rate of speed. And we're going to do about 15 seconds on each side. So when I tell you to flip, be quick with it because we'll get right into the next one. And we're going to get started in about 10 seconds. Let's make sure our stance leg is relatively straight and stiff. It's going to be supporting most of our weight here. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Bend one arm, send the other leg up and back. Swing through the hip, 15 seconds, 10 more seconds here. And switch sides. Do the other arm now, swing it through, up and back. We want to make sure the speed is also lined up here. Again, my stance leg is straight. Staying relatively stiff on it from the foot and the ankle. 3, 2, and 1. Good, we're resting now. 30-second rest. March is next. So our march in place here, we want to make sure our foot is landing right under our hip. We want to make sure our posture is good. We're staying up nice and tall. We're going to start in about 15 more seconds. In 10 seconds, we're on. And we're marching now. Foot lands under the hip. 30 seconds of marching. As we go through this, right underneath of the hip, opposite arm, opposite leg, working together here is our goal. We want to land with a stiff foot, stiff ankle. Okay, 30 seconds of that, continue. Make sure our posture is good. We want to look at posture from our ribs here, staying up really tall. And about 10 more seconds of marching here. 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 30 seconds of rest. Laura, how are we doing? Any comments?
Video is sideways.
Sideways video. Okay, we're going to fix that. We'll get it reposted. Don't worry, guys. We'll get you reposted once we're done with the video. And about 10 more seconds. And Laura, maybe you can figure out how to get it to look horizontally. Maybe there's a button over there. And we're going to skip in place now. Our skip in place, we want to land the foot right under our hip here as well. And we're focusing on placing it underneath of the hip with a stiff foot as well. Keep our ground contact low. And we'll go through about 15 more seconds of that. Again, we want to stay stiff on the foot, pop up and float. Okay, we'll go through about, like I said, 10 more seconds there. Continue your skip. And rest. Okay, we'll take our 30-second rest now. I'll show you the next exercise. Our next one's a squat jump. Our squat jump, we're going to lower ourselves down about 3 seconds to the bottom, and then after that, we're just going to jump up vertical as fast as possible. Okay? So hands on our hips for these. Again, like I said, 3 seconds to the bottom. Once we hit the bottom, we want to get back up vertical, all right? So we'll start our count now. Again, 30 seconds, and go. 3 seconds to the bottom, jump, land nice and soft here. Reset at the top every time. 3 seconds to the bottom, jump as fast as you can, land nice and soft here, okay? Go through about 20 seconds of that again. Lower yourself down slow, vertical, fast as you can, land soft. Just make sure our torso stays vertical, feet stay under our hips on our landings as well. We want to push our head through the ceiling, and then we want to absorb the landing through the hips and get nice and spongy through there. And do about 3 more of those. And let's take a rest now, 30 seconds of rest. Our jump is going to go forward now. So our broad jump here, lower ourselves down, controlled, 3, 2, 1, and then jump here, okay? We're going to do that in about 20 seconds. So as we control ourselves.
Is that better for everybody?
Hopefully you can see me now. Again, we'll get the first part of that video cleaned up for the next part. So let's get into our 30 seconds now. So 30 seconds of broad jumps here. Again, 3, 2, 1 to the bottom, jump, land. Okay, we're looking for fast hips there and just return back to your starting point every time. Again, we'll go through this for 20 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. As you lower, jump, land nice and soft. Return back to your starting spot. 3, 2, 1. Jump, land, and return. Okay, we'll do that for about 15 more seconds. Just make sure knees are open. And I want you to think about yourselves as elevators here. So we don't want to go forward or back. We want to just go straight down between our legs. So when we do this, I want you to do a 3 count going down as well, and then return yourself fast, just like we did in the very first workout of the squat. All right, we'll start in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So 3 seconds to the bottom here. 3, 2, 1, then up. Return to this vertical spot as fast as possible. Again, my hips are under my rib cage here. I'm focusing on staying vertical, and I'm returning to vertical as fast as possible once I lower myself down slow. I'm bringing myself down slow because I want to feel the muscles stretch. I want to feel and make sure that the muscles that are lowering me are the muscles that I want to use. Okay, and rest. 30 seconds. We'll switch sides now. So the best way to build strength, especially for performance, one of the phases we look at as an important phase to build strength in is the eccentric phase. So that's why we're spending so much time kind of focusing on this part of the workout, especially when it comes to strength. And in about 10 more seconds, we're going to get started on our other leg. And then after that, we'll be about halfway done. Okay, we'll start in 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. One leg in front again, one leg in back. Lower yourself down 3 seconds. Return to vertical as fast as possible. Hips are under ribs. And we want to be really stiff with the legs as we return to vertical. We really want to make sure we are using speed to get to the top. We are maintaining our posture. We are fighting some of these compensation patterns. Losing posture is going to be the #1 thing that happens with speed here. We'll go through about 10 more seconds of that. Keep going here. Keep going. You're doing great. We're almost done this workout already. And relax. Okay, we got 30 seconds of rest. Our next one is going to challenge your balance a little bit. I'm going to move over to a flat part of the ground. You might have to too. So the carpet's going to be a little more unstable for this. But we're looking for seconds to the bottom. Reach and sit. Finish with a knee drive and lock. 3 seconds to the bottom. Again, we want to focus on that phase of the movement and finish with some speed. All right, continue for about 15 more seconds. I'll show you one more rep here. We want to make sure that we're setting our foot up so that we have good pressure in the midfoot area here. We don't want to rely too much on squeezing on the toes. We're sitting on the heel too much here. So even foot pressure is your goal, and just staying stable on your hip. And you can rest for 30 seconds now. We'll do the other side. I'm on my other leg here. Again, we're reaching and sitting. We're sitting with this hip. It's going back behind our heel. Reaching forward with our upper body. We're maintaining posture as we go through that. Take a couple of deep breaths for me now. We're going to do, again, like I said, we got about 5 or 6 more exercises here, and then we'll finish up. Everyone's doing awesome so far, I'm sure. One last deep breath for me, and we'll get started. 3, 2, 1, begin. We're stiff on that post leg. We're reaching. We're making sure our hip goes past our heel in the back. Big reach out in front. Again, think about your foot set up here. Think about where the pressure of your foot is. And make sure we're moving our hip behind the heel to get the muscles to stretch, the right muscles to stretch, the muscles we want to use to stretch, okay? About 10 more seconds of this, couple more reps. Okay, get to the bottom and then finish at the top. Get to the bottom, finish at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. All right, next one we're going to bring it down to the floor. So we're going to work on a hand release push-up here. So we're going to use some space between the hand and the floor. Just generate a little bit of speed and power. It's going to make it easier to complete your push-up. There's one really important thing I want to stress down here. We need to start out with our quads off the floor. So some of our lower body muscles are actually important on our push-up. So let's just make sure that as we go through the next 30 seconds, the knees never really touch unless you need them to lift yourself. And we keep the knees off the floor through a quad engagement, all right? So hands come up, push yourself up, use a little speed and power, 3 seconds to the bottom, 3, 2, 1. Hands come up, we're stiff, knees off, push, 3, 2, 1. As we come down from that push-up, continue yours. We're going to do 15 more seconds. As we come down, we want to feel our shoulders come back a little bit and the muscles in our chest stretch apart, okay? We also want to think about keeping a vertical forearm through that whole range of motion. And again, making sure we have glutes, hamstrings, and abs on, okay? Go through 30-second rest now. Our next exercise is also on the floor. Our next exercise is called Blackburn. So what we're going to do here is move our shoulder blades along our rib cage here. So it's really easy for me to just arch my back to do this, but I don't really want to do that. I want to move my shoulder blades back. Then from here, I'm going to slide up and down muscles that move it for you. So what we want to feel is the shoulder blade move. We want to feel the elbows come to our side, our arms flip over with our elbows coming up high, and then our hands shooting underneath of that gap, and then reaching down to the toes. And then we want to pull up our socks, bring the elbows up and underneath, elbows tight to your sides here. Reach up, overhead. Finish overhead, hold for a second, and rest. All right. Next one, we're back off the floor. We have a pogo jump here. So our pogo jump, the goal of it is to have a foot and an ankle set up for a minimal amount of time on the floor. So the real goal here is to be popping up and down off of the floor quick and focusing on doing that with your feet and your ankles. So we shouldn't be involving our hips or our knees too much. We want to really keep it in the lower leg. All right? We'll do that in 10 seconds. And begin. All right, we're also going to add a little bit of rotation as we do this. So every once in a while, I want you to rotate to the left and rotate back. And then to the right, and then back. And then left and then back. And then right and then back. Okay? We want to feel our body connected when we do that. We want to try not to go 1, 2, and then come back. We want both feet to leave and land, and return. Okay? Continue that for 10 seconds. Good. A lot of foot and ankle stiffness. Stay really tight down there. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right, it's going to bring us to our last 2 30-second exercises. We just have 2 different mountain climber holds. So we're bringing it down to the floor again. What we're going to do is make sure our hands are under our shoulders. Now the real key here is to focus on your hips across here. So we're going to take those hips, we're going to pull them into our ribs. Okay? I should give you a new level of ab engagement through here. And we really want to focus on that and use that because that's the level of engagement that we need. All right? So with that hold, we're just going to bring our knee to our hip and continue to hold this position here. And we're starting now. Ready, go. A lot of tension in my upper body. I'm reaching through the floor to the other side. I'm pulling my sternum out the back. Maximize my reach, maximize my tuck. I want to make sure my foot back here is really strong. I'm not spending too much pressure on my toe. And we're sitting into that transverse arch. 10 more seconds there, keep holding. And then we'll do the other side. We'll rest for 30 in between. We're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Okay, 30-second rest, we'll do the other side. So things you should have felt there, through the reach, the increased reach, a little more ab engagement through here, through the tuck, through making sure we have alignment through the pelvic bone and the rib cage. Should feel even more abs. And we really want to make sure that we're just staying stiff and locked into that position the whole time. Really important to just find those positions and spend time on them. In about 5 seconds, we're going to do our other side, so hopefully remember which leg we brought to our hip. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1, and begin. Knee is into your hip again. Focus on our reach, focusing on pulling the sternum out the back, focusing on our hip tuck, making sure we have a good foot on the back side. Palm stays pressurized. We'll continue that for about 15 seconds. Keep going, and maintain your breathing as we go through that. Good, about 10 more seconds of work here. We're almost done. Our 15 exercise circuit. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Very good work. Okay, take a 30-second rest. If you're going to continue, you can just start over. So start back at the top with your squats. You can do 3 to 4 more rounds of this. And you can also use this as warm-ups, things you're going to do throughout the rest of your day as well. We'll get this video cleaned up for you. We'll patch it all up and make sure you guys can use it. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time for some performance and speed. Have a great day, everybody.